The moon has been there your entire life, and you've never once thanked it for the thing it actually does. Most people think if the moon vanished, we'd just get darker nights. That is not the danger. Here is the danger. The moon is the only thing holding our entire planet steady. Without it, Earth would slowly tip over. The seasons would break, and the climate would spiral into something no living thing could survive. The moon isn't a pretty light in the sky. It is a load-bearing wall holding up life itself. And if you pulled it out, most life on Earth would be dead long before anyone understood why. So let me show you exactly how losing the moon would kill us, starting with the part almost nobody sees coming. Earth doesn't spin perfectly upright. It spins on an axis that's tilted by about 23.5 degrees. That axial tilt is the entire reason we have seasons. Summer when your half of the planet leans toward the sun, winter when it leans away. And here's the crucial part that should stop you in your tracks. That tilt barely moves. It only wobbles a tiny amount over enormous stretches of time. Something is holding it steady, and that something is the moon. The moon's gravity acts like a stabilizer, a steadying hand on a spinning top, locking Earth's tilt into a narrow, safe range. It has been quietly doing this for billions of years, and it is the single biggest reason this planet has a calm, predictable climate at all. Now, rip the moon away. Without its grip, that tilt is no longer anchored, and over long periods, it could begin to swing wildly, lurching to extremes. This is not a guess, because there is a real, terrifying example sitting right next door. Mars has only 2 tiny moons, little captured lumps of rock, far too small to stabilize anything. And over millions of years, Mars has tumbled through gigantic swings in its tilt, rolling from nearly upright to severely tipped over and back again. Its climate has lurched violently every time. That is very likely a preview of Earth without its moon. Picture that happening here. A tilt that swings to an extreme means the climate goes completely insane. Imagine entire continents where the sun does not set for months, then plunges into months of unbroken darkness. Ice sheets forming in places that used to be tropical jungle. Ancient frozen wastelands suddenly baking under a vertical sun. The mild, dependable seasons that all of agriculture, and frankly, all of human civilization, was quietly built on, gone, replaced by a climate that violently reinvents itself every few thousand years. Nothing we have built, no farm, no city, no country, was designed to survive a planet that tips over. Here is the cleanest way to say it. If the moon disappeared, Earth would lose the gravitational anchor that keeps its axis stable. The planet's tilt could swing to wild extremes over time, and the seasons and climate that all complex life depends on would break down. That is not science fiction. That is just what the moon has quietly been preventing this whole time. And that is just the first blow. Because the moon is not only steadying us, it is also reaching across space and physically moving our oceans. The tides, those massive daily movements of entire seas, are caused mostly by the moon's gravity pulling on Earth's water. The moon tugs on the side of the planet facing it, the ocean bulges toward it. And as Earth spins underneath, that bulge sweeps around the globe as the tide rolling in and out. Twice a day? Every single day? You have seen it your whole life, and probably never realized you were watching the moon physically haul the ocean around. Now, take the moon away. The sun still pulls on our water a little, so tides do not vanish completely, but they collapse to roughly 1/3 of their current strength. And that is a catastrophe that does not look like one. The water just gets quieter, but that quiet is deadly. Those tidal zones, the stretches of coast that flood and drain twice a day, are some of the most biologically rich places on the entire planet. They are nurseries. The constant churn of water drags nutrients up from the deep, stirs oxygen into the shallows, and builds the exact conditions where a staggering share of all marine life feeds, breeds, and grows up. A huge portion of the ocean's food web is rooted right there, in that rhythmic flooding. Shrink the tides to 1/3, and that churn slows to a crawl. The nurseries go still. The nutrients stop cycling. The small creatures at the base of the food chain begin to starve. And here is the part people miss. When the bottom of a food chain collapses, it does not stay at the bottom. Everything's stacked above it. The fish that eat the small things, the bigger fish that eat those fish, the birds and seals and whales, and eventually the billions of humans who rely on the sea for food. All of it begins to come down together. There is an even deeper layer to this. The endless friction of the tides has helped mix Earth's oceans for billions of years. And some scientists think that very churning may have helped stir together the chemistry that first sparked life itself. The tides may not just sustain life. They may be part of why there is any life here at all. There's also a slower, sneakier effect hidden in those tides. The moon has been gently slowing Earth's spin for billions of years, applying the brakes a fraction at a time. Long ago, a single day on Earth lasted only a handful of hours. The moon is what stretched it out to the 24 hours we live by now. Remove the moon, and you tamper with the very length of our day and the speed of our spin, leaving us with conditions, winds, and weather that life on Earth never adapted to. And only now, after all of that, do we get to the thing everyone assumes is the main event: the darkness. Yes, without the moon, the night goes black. Properly black. And while that sounds like the least of our problems, it quietly breaks the natural world in its own way. We've never lived a single night without the moon. A full moon is bright enough to walk by, bright enough to cast a shadow, and countless creatures have wired their entire existence around it. Coral reefs across the planet spawn in massive synchronized events, triggered by the phase of the moon. Sea turtles use the moonlit horizon to find the ocean after they hatch. Predators hunt by moonlight. Prey hide in the dark between. Birds and even dung beetles navigate by it. Strip the moon out of the sky overnight, and you tear the timing and the navigation out of the living world all at once. Failed migrations, broken breeding cycles, an ecological clock that billions of years of evolution carefully set, ripped straight off the wall. So now you see the full, staggering picture. Lose the moon, and Earth's tilt comes unanchored, sending the climate into extremes that no civilization could survive. The tides collapse, and the nurseries of the ocean die from the bottom up, and the nights fall black, shattering the rhythms of the natural world. 3 devastating blows, all from removing a single object we treat as decoration. And here is the detail that turns this entire thought experiment into something genuinely unsettling. The moon is leaving right now. As you watch this, every single year, the moon drifts about 3.8 centimeters farther from Earth. That's slow, the width of a few fingers a year, but it never stops, and it never has. The moon has been pulling away for billions of years, and it will keep going. It won't vanish overnight like in our thought experiment. But across the deep future, its grip on our tilt, on our tides, on our spin, very slowly weakens. The stabilizer is loosening, one tiny step at a time, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it. So everything I just described, the runaway tilt, the dying tides, the chaos, isn't pure fantasy. It's a faint preview of a real, far-off future. We just happen to be alive in the lucky window where the moon is still close enough to hold everything together. We treat the moon like an ornament, a pretty thing in the sky for poets and photographs. It isn't. It's a load-bearing wall in the structure of life on Earth. It steadies our spin, it moves our seas, it lights our nights, and it has quietly guarded the stability of this entire planet since long before there were any eyes to look up and notice it. So the next time you see it hanging there, plain and familiar, remember what you're actually looking at. Not a light, not decoration. The single object standing between Earth and a slow, silent unraveling, and unraveling that, very quietly, has already begun.